Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock, Drogheda. Well, for once, I've managed to get out of my office in order to film a Take 5. And I'm here, even though we are under level 5 lockdown, I'm here in Dublin at the RTE Television Headquarters, the headquarters of our national broadcaster. I'm here to film for a clip that's going to be part of the Sunday service that will go out on Remembrance Sunday. But while I was here, I wanted to just take an opportunity to film this devotional, because when I mentioned about our national broadcaster or our state broadcaster, in some countries that would produce a lot of cynicism among people, where basically the TV stations and sometimes the newspapers operate as a propaganda mouthpiece on behalf of the governments of those nations. Now here we have a press which is able to criticize the government even where it is financially supported by the government. Does that mean I always agree with everything that RTE say and the way they cover every issue? No, it does not. There's times when I've disagreed quite profoundly with their coverage on certain issues and the agenda that I've perceived behind it. Nevertheless, I am delighted that we live in a country where, by and large, we are able to be exposed to new television news which actually does not always just confirm what we want to hear. I love the United States. I travel there quite reasonably often, or at least I did up to the beginning of this year. And one of the things that I find disturbing there is it's very rare to actually have people watching news programs which will not just tell them what they want to hear, but will give them the opposite viewpoint as well. People often like to surround themselves in an echo chamber, either a left-wing echo chamber or a right-wing echo chamber, where they simply hear everything presented in a way which fits in with their existing views and preconceptions. But actually, for Christians, it's vital that sometimes we listen to views different from ours. It's vital that we hear what people are saying who don't agree with us. And sometimes, just sometimes, God has a way of breaking in through those things and delivering a word that we need to hear, and we would never hear it if everybody was trying to avoid hurting our feelings all the time. I'm thinking of the prophet Nathan, whenever he confronted King David after his sin in committing adultery with Bathsheba and having her husband basically murdered. And he was the king. It looked like he was going to get away with it without being pulled up on it. And Nathan the prophet basically confronted David, used a story about an injustice taking place. And when David began to get worked up about the man who was the baddie in the story, Nathan said to him, "You are the man." And David, to his credit, did not have Nathan's head chopped off for telling him something he didn't want to hear. Instead, he listened because he needed to hear that word. I don't always want to hear news that's presented from my viewpoint and in a way that I will never disagree with or will never offend me. I want to hear how other people see it. And if my beliefs are truly grounded in God's word and in truth, then they will stand up to scrutiny and they will stand up to challenge, and I will be able to assess it from a different standpoint. And if what I'm believing is true, I'm still going to believe it. But if what I'm believing does not have a solid foundation, then I want to find that out. We should not be afraid of the truth. All truth is God's truth. And that today, I just want to encourage you, walk as people of truth, live as people of truth, and be ready to hear truth, even if it comes from a source that you don't normally agree with or where you don't normally expect the truth to come from. May God bless you this day, and join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock, Drogheda.